is going on? Welcome back to the stream, welcome back to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Making some nasty music, huh? I'm quite stoked with how this whole Cyberpunk project is going. It's totally new terrain for me. I'm like a piano guy, and there's nothing about this that says like chords and theory and harmony and all that stuff. It's just sound design, really. So nothing keeps you alive like getting out of your comfort zone, right? So yeah, if you're new to the channel, this is where I make Ableton Live packs and templates. Ableton Live is the name of this software, and the packs are like pre-contained, self-contained portable songs that you can download and work on in your own time, remix them, edit them, do your own mixes of them, use them in your videos. So if that sounds good, hit the sub, and you can also consider becoming a patron, free or paid. You'll get an email every time I release a new pack, typically 2 or 3 times a month. And the packs contain the master file, which you're free to use in your productions, just credit me, as well as the Ableton Live editable project file that you see in front of you here. So it's good content, it's good quality stuff, there's nothing automated about it. I've been making music for 20 years, so you're getting some high quality stuff when you become a patron. So today, watch this, I'm going to do something insane. Select all, delete, and flip over to session mode and do the same thing. I want to select everything in here and delete it. Why? Because I am starting fresh, baby. Today we're going to work on a new track. The last one I've been working on, track 2, has been keeping me busy for about 10 days. That's about as much time as I give myself to finish one of these tracks. So how this works is I'm going to be listening at some points during the stream. I'm going to be listening to this tune over here, which you can't hear because if I play it I get flagged for copyright on YouTube. It's the original Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack, and I'm just emulating it basically. I'm making a sound alike. That's kind of what I do here. So if you want original music that is also not going to get you flagged on copyright, that sounds like the 2070 Cyberpunk 2077 game, then this is a good place to get that stuff. This is how I do it. If at any point you want to, drop a message in the chat or whatever, like a lot of dudes show up here regularly to like, just have a little conversation while I work, which is super cool. Okay, so I'm currently listening to one of these pieces of music, and I'm going to pick which one I want to emulate for the day, basically. That's the one I just kind of finished. Let's try this one. That was track 1, which I did. You'll never be confused again, because by the time you finish like doing one of these sound alikes, you've heard it so many times. It's like burned into your memory. Cool, I'm just giving it a quick listen to figure out which track 3 is going to be. Well, it's filthy. I was hoping to do some like electric guitar on these channels, on these tracks, but it seems like a lot of this music doesn't actually use live instrumentation, other than perhaps samples recorded and then messed around with. So there's one that I want to do, which has got live drums in it, but for now, let's just find a different one. No. Just listening here. Got a cup of coffee today. Sorry about the stream starting a bit late. We get power cuts here in South Africa, so the latest power cut just ended at 4 p.m. I needed a bit of time to prep, as you do. Okay. Filthy? Too much. I think I went back. Sorry, just looking around here. Yeah, let me know what you're up to today. It'd be cool to hear what you guys are doing while I work. And I show up here pretty much every day, every weekday at least, from 2 p.m. UTC to 3 p.m. UTC. So you're welcome to sub, and you'll get notified of stuff of my stream when it goes live every day. Tomorrow I'm going to have to skip though. I'll put up a note. I'm going out of town, a family vacation type thing. Hope that's cool. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so most of what the approach that I'm taking now is to hunt down sounds rather than starting with the theoretical approach, which is thinking of a chord progression or a melody. I'm starting with the sound design approach, which is hunting down the appropriate patches that are going to be used in the piece. So this one over here that I'm listening to, it's got quite a distinctive sounding melody patch, so I'm going to go ahead and look for that in Ableton Live's default library. You should also know that the packs that I release to the public are all self-contained. In other words, they have no missing samples or VSTs. You're able to just go right ahead and install them in your project and start using them immediately. That's what makes them kind of cool. This very beginner friendly, easy to use type of packs, you know. Okay, let's go with... Okay, I'm going to play while I... Okay, we need this BPM to be higher. 666. Okay, let's try again. Oh, there's actually there's a patch here called Face Melter. I thought that I made that up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We had this thing called a Face Melter, which was an Ableton Live effect that we used for our live shows. It's kind of like a time shifter, basically. It was very cool. And it like took Neuro Pulse Bass. That's not so far off. Let's hear how that sounds as a melody instrument. So what I'm doing now is just deactivating that pitch. Let me show you what I'm up to. Cool, so on the left over here I'm replacing lead Crystal Vache with Neuro Pulse Bass, and let's give it a listen, hear how it sounds. It's quite cool. And how does it sound compared to the original? Okay, good. Cool, I think it's actually quite close. Didn't... Cool. Let's take the attack down and make sure the sample starts nice and punchily. Okay, now we're going to get a click in this, so we're going to hear it's going to be about 140 BPM, I think. Did. And I'm going to record that. Okay, they've recorded it. That's cool. Let's just quantize that. Good. Now take the sustain value down. Cool. The filter envelope is also creating a bit of a delay, so there should be an envelope 4 filter. And just double check I'm actually, yeah, okay, good. Cool. There we go. So I've like corrected it now, so it starts a lot sharper. Good. I think we must take that down. Good. Second octave down, and we'll take the actual piece of music down. That's not really what I want, unless we then... Good. It's got a slightly different quality to the sound that I'm trying to emulate, which you can't hear, unfortunately, but this is pretty much the most boring it gets, is the starting moments of the stream of a new track. Okay, now I'm going to pick a different melody because I don't want to directly copy the existing melody. So like that melody. Dun, dun. Okay, let's try that. Just gotta get something going here. One, two, three, four. Duh. Okay, that's a good start. Let's keep going. Okay, good. So I've got something there. I'm going to cut it in half. And let's get that quantization going. Okay, now I like this. It can be used sort of as a... see, it's got some randomness to it, which I like. There's no like clear pattern, you know, which is cool. Take it from the end. Not quite sold on the on the timbre. I want to just see if we can find a better timbre. That sounds nice, fat. Okay, let's try a different one of these. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. One trick I've learned for making music is to close your eyes. It's a bit digital. All of these would be suitable for Cyberpunk. I like this one the most. It's bitey. Good. Did it then. Dun 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 dun. Actually, we need to just raise this up one more. Dun dun dun. Good. No, not a C sharp. Okay, I want this to be a double. Just fine tuning the melody a little bit here. No, this needs to be a. I promise I'm not going to spend all this stream making MIDI. It's not what I want to do with my life. Good. Alright, cool. Let's go, kids. We are putting together a basic new Cyberpunk theme track, which I'm going to be dropping in a couple of weeks. This is just the making of, the behind the scenes. I show up here every day, 2 p.m. UTC, to make some music, share it with you guys. Okay, good. And now we need a bass. Okay, in fact, we've got two basses here. One of them is a straight up, just a low sub whine, basically. So let's just get that in. I'm going to change the key here to something, maybe G sharp instead of G. Just want to get it out of the exact copy mode. Cool, we'll crop that clip. We can always come back and make changes if it's not satisfying. The point is to keep moving forward, like that's the goal here. Okay, now I'm going to take make sure the bass is just humming along at G minor, G sharp minor. Let's do a straight up G sharp minor, duplicate it twice, and make sure it's long all the way. So this is going to be a bass drone, basically. So what I'm noticing is there are a lot of drones. Oh, wait, I've changed it up to B flat instead of G sharp, so let's take that up again. And it looks like I've also screwed up something about the... There we go, cool. All of this needs to be deleted, and this can go all the way across. There we go, cool. Crop that clip. We're gonna have 4 bars of B flat. Let's take it down an octave or 2. It's too low, too high still, sorry. Not working, why not? Okay, let's fine tune this sound. Okay, firstly, that's not bad, but what am I doing wrong? Because the clip itself is not dropping in pitch. Looks like it's just staying in one pitch. Weird. Okay, well anyway, we've got to change the bass, so let's try a different one of these basses. I've got one here. No, in fact I'm going to go hunting again. So looking for basses. My first starting point here is actually always going to be wavetable. It's the most sophisticated device in the Ableton library. This is the best start we've got, basically. Bass sub stomach. So let's put bass sub stomach in there. And while I am creating music, I'm also creating patches, and those patches are, that's fine, yeah, cool. Let's just get it nice and low. Just also needs to be, no, just like that. Okay, good. Now I got a problem. The mono, it's not being monoized. It needs to be monoized. And I also want this to not decay. Basically, it shouldn't be decaying. Got a weird phase thing going where there's some mono happening in the left and the right. I don't know what that's about. Audio filter, utility, mono. None of this seems to be working, but basically the bass that I'm aiming for is not behaving itself. Let's look for something else. Instead of wasting time on things that don't work, just hunt around. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's got a pitch drop off, which I'm not actually happy with. What we need is just a straightforward bass, which doesn't. That's kind of what we're going for here. Okay, good, and let's try it with the other beat. Okay, so this is a starting point. Like, you can just feel that there's a track in here, somewhere in here. Okay, just for kicks, I'm now going to just play around on some pads because I'm done clicking around. I want to actually just get some music in the bag here. Let's try a different patch. There's a lot of crunching going on here. Let's take the, I think this one has a what you'll notice about the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack is that a lot of it is digital distortion. So you get very little that's just like a pure sound. Everything's being driven to create, like oversaturated basically. And it creates quite a pleasing sound actually. If you if you're not you may not be a fan of this, like the sound of a speaker clipping out, but when used creatively and artistically, it puts you in a certain mood, and the mood that it puts me in is, I feel like I'm part of some underworld, which is the intention, like some game underworld. Have we got a cutoff for that? No. Just the bass. Okay. I don't think we need these bass filter cutoffs anymore. And let's also just take let's leave the kit instrument up there. Oh, that's quite nice. Alright, cool kids. No, I don't want that filter to be so high. And I don't want the res to be so high either. Just a subtle low frequency there. There we go, cool. Take that as a pad. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2. I'm just recording some stuff. There we go. Off, and now we got that harmony patch in there. Let's quantize that up. Let's make sure the quantization is nice and fat. Want some fat quantization today, kids. Cool, and then we can actually get the cutoff MIDI mapped to, let's say, this one over here, and then we've got some control over its feeling and its power. So here we go. I've got a knob. I've got a knob in my hand as usual. Happy leap year! It's the 29th of February. This is amazing. Can you feel the pull of the moon and the ley lines? You know. Okay. I'm actually ready to like come up with some kind of beat for this. Okay, but in time with okay, cool, that's cool. We got a beginnings of a track at least. Over the next 10 days, if not less, I'm gonna forge this into a full arrangement which sounds really big and sounds also a lot like the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack, which is what I'm emulating here. Alright, there's a missing ingredient from this this whole piece so far, and I'll tell you what it is. We're going to look in My Stuff, which is where I'm saving Cyberpunk patches, and you can very easily find and use, for example, this one here called Texture Wire Bass. I'm now going to make sure that that gets... Oops. Why all these texture patches? Are they all... Okay, I just need to add a texture patch basically. So let's add that texture wire base. I'm going to make sure that the routing goes to the master and not to the pre-master. Sorry, to the pre-master, not the master. The reason for that is the pre-master is coming through to OBS and the stream, and the master isn't, because I want to separate out the reference track so that you don't hear it and I don't get flagged on copyright. Okay, cool. So we've got texture going to the pre-master, and I'm going to call this texture wire base. Let's get it into there. Thank you. It's already in there. Now we've got this sound. No, we don't have that sound because there's no sound. Here we go. That's the sound, yes. Okay. Okay, it's very arpeggiated. I want to just maybe halve that speed. That's a jar, because there's actually a little bit of a that's the sound we're going for, yeah. Let's take it up one. No. Okay, cool. We're just screwing around with different sounds here. Repeats infinite. Good. That's what I'm going for. A little bit of extra color. Just fine-tuning the sound over here so it's subtle and it adds the effect we're looking for. So this just becomes a texture basically. There's no melodic contribution to the track. Now here it is in the midst of the rest of the track. It's quite an easy patch to emulate. Okay. Actually, I'm going to add this as a melodic instrument, and we're going to do it like this. First, we're going to duplicate it twice to get it 3 times actually. So the first 2 are the F sharp, the second 2 are the G sharp, and the last 4 are the B flat or the A sharp, which is where the home key of the song is. I am once again here thinking in keys, but that's just because I don't want frequency clashing basically. So now here's the progression. You can hear it when it solos out. There we go. So this is just that one texture patch on its own, which is following the harmonic progression of the song. Here it is in context again. It just adds a little bit of a layer of, interest basically. Cool, so I'm making Cyberpunk music. I am going to be packaging up this stuff in a couple of days, or actually a couple of weeks, as downloadable templates. So if that sounds good, sub the channel and I'll continue to make this stuff available to you guys. Okay, I think it's almost time to get into kit mode. Kit is where we bring the power, like... okay. The kit's kind of an easy thing though. Like for me, writing the beat is like, no matter what you write, it sounds kind of, it's a hard thing to get completely wrong. So let's actually just wait for that to come last. What I'm going to do next is create a kind of a drone-based A part for this track. So what I've just played for you now is typically like the second half of a track. Hey Arjun, what's happening? How you doing today, dude? Welcome, thanks for stopping by, welcome back to the channel. As you can hear, I'm writing a new track. Yesterday we were working on track 2, this is track 3 of the template pack that I'm putting together, Cyberpunk themed template pack. What do you think of it so far? This is the right note, but this actually has to change too, I'm afraid. Okay, so we have to take this texture patch and copy it over to the bass, and now listen. Okay, I think it might be a note high. Let's hear it. Okay, I'm just trying to find out if this is the right... Everything's a bit low. This has been transposed, I can hear it. Minus 12 semitones. I'm wondering. Doesn't sound very good to me. Yeah, Arjun, what are you up to today? What's keeping you busy? That's what I'm after, yeah. That's lower. There, now it's in key. For some reason it was 2 semitones lower than it should have been. Now it's sounding fine. Sometimes that happens, not sure why. Okay. I do want to add a little bit of more interest to this LFO. This is a bit too static for my liking. LFO 2, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool, let's try that again. Z that. Now, that's it, yeah. Just a little bit more unpredictable, basically. That's it, good, yeah. I like that, the way it cuts off suddenly, that's all good. Something like deep and dark about this, Okay, now we're going to take it back one step and just have like this phrase over here, and then like okay, now I need some extra kind of rhythm, some like rhythmic something like that is a bit more like pulsing, like a like a rhythmic sound. So I think there might be some stuff under here. Rhythmic bite-sized bass. No, that's not it. Let's go back. Whenever I'm in doubt, whenever I've got a decision to make, I hit up the reference track, the original game soundtrack that I'm copying. Basically, I'm emulating it, as they say. Good artists copy, great artists steal. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is harsh, glitchy sounding, harsh, aggressive, glitchy sounding, like an ugly sound, basically. There's a particular. Just listening here. You can't hear it, but I'm just gonna. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Let's see if we can find that. This is the next stage in this track's evolution, is finding the patches that we're going to be using for the entire track. My entire approach towards this pack, towards this composition, is different to how I normally do it. What I normally do is start with melodies and harmonies, because I'm a musician. But when it comes to creating this type of soundtrack music, you've really got to start with sound design, sound decision making, like on what patches you're going to use, and that's what I'm going to be doing in this one. Now, there are tons of really good VSTs that will give you the sounds I'm looking for, but that when I release these packs, I always make them portable, so that means you don't need extra VSTs, you don't need to download any software or purchase any software. It's all part of Ableton Live 11. It's part of the native libraries, or I provide the samples in the pack. So I'm reluctant to open up native instruments and start using stuff like Form, which would be perfect for this track. In fact, this entire album, I'm trying to do it the hard way, by making it easy for other people, basically. So I'm doing the hard work of finding that collection of sounds that is going to make it easy for Cyberpunk game creators. This is kind of a good sound. This is what I'm going for. Let's just test it against this. This. Okay, good. Okay, now we've taken this. Now I want this, which is quite loud still. I want it to be, firstly, let's kill this multi-band compressor. I like the way there's like zero reverb on it. That works for me. What I do have to do now is find a way of arpeggiating this. Let's start with just straight up arpeggiator, see if that's going to work, do what I'm trying to do. Okay. Arpeggiator below this, or before this track, is going to obviously start breaking it, glitching it into pieces. That's it. Let's do it with the... Oops, that's not it. There we go. There we go. That's the sound we're going for. Okay, we're going to use that. Then I need to create a MIDI controller which is going to turn it on and off. So I want that to be this lower level over here, so now I can go like this. Good, and then a third one which is going to control the gate. Gate is how much of the sound gets allowed through. So between these three controls, and I can also just hold, I hit a hold over there, and now suddenly I've got this kind of glitchy effects, which I'm using two knobs on my... Okay, cool. So let's try that out in the context of the track. 2, 3. Sounds like a computer hard drive failing, which is really the idea here. This is Cyberpunk. This is the future. Now what I'm going to do is just record this. And you can see it's actually recording the automation. So I'll be left with little snippets of sound that can be used quite nicely to create this kind of stuttering, glitchy, computer dying effect. Arjun says, is this key mapping? Actually, it's called MIDI mapping, yeah. Control M on a PC, and it'll make the screen go blue, and then you can map them to different parameters. Cool, and then that should do it. Now it's going to start playback, and it's actually gone and saved all of that automation you can see there. So this is quite cool. Let's just bring the volume down. So this works quite well as just a general sort of texture that can be used throughout the piece. I've got a lot to work with here, especially the last couple of bars. Let me show you how I did that. What I did was I went to the actual arpeggiator device and I hit Control M, and then let me just stop playback. You hit Control M and then you click the parameter you want, and then you move the knob on the keyboard that you want to control that parameter, and it automatically maps it out to you. You can also change the min and max values. So yeah, and then if you want, just click on it and delete it, and that'll remove the mapping. So that's how you map knobs to parameters on the software. This is a very cool thing about Ableton. It makes it really easy to get into play mode. That's why I enjoy using it to generate ideas and create new stuff. Reaper, which I also use quite a lot for composition, is far more difficult to do this kind of stuff. They don't have a native instrument library, so you have to use basically exclusively third-party plugins and VSTs, which is great if you using that kind of stuff anyway. But if you just want to kind of get going with making music, then Ableton's a really good place to start. Unfortunately, the learning curve is quite steep. It takes you a while to figure out how to use it. That's one of the reasons I'm releasing these packs. I want people to feel like they can just quickly start playing back a song and seeing how things were made retrospectively, like, by looking at existing stuff and figuring it out, rather than trying to figure it out from scratch. Okay. So for some reason this is now no longer playing back. That's odd. Very odd. Why did it suddenly stop playing back? CPU? No? Oh, I understand. There is a function called hold, which allows you to not have to hold down a key. But what I did when I recorded was I stuck that on. And now that I've finished recording, it's recorded the automation, but not the key. There, it should work. That's it. There we go. Cool. Alright, so I've just recorded this really crazy sounding broken computer dying type of sound. You'll see there's the automation over here. So I've been turning the device on and off, which has resulted in that automation. And then I've got the gate, which is how much sound gets let through. Take a listen. So I'm going to keep this whole section here. It's 32 bars. I'm going to keep this patch. Let's first rename it to glitch. So it's actually a texture patch, but let's just call it glitch. Glitch is going to be just a general purpose kind of glitch for use throughout the entire pack. Sometimes in some cases we might need to just have a bit of glitch going. So that's cool. So we got the starts of a track here. It's got some vibe, a low sub bass. Maybe you can't hear that on a mobile. Then you got the glitch, which I talked about, and you got this melody, which has got like an overdriven sound to it. Alright, and then we've got this part B section, which I'll show you now, which I just wrote. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, a bit early, sorry. And I can also use this knob over here to bring the feeling up and down, which I did in the last this is like for when it's more like emotional, that kind of thing. Let me go back to... Okay, good. Let's start the entire track. I'm thinking of arrangement now, like how to make an actual piece of music out of this. I've gone blurry. Oh, my blur is finished. Arjun says, are you on Instagram? I looked for you yesterday on Instagram and couldn't find you. Unfortunately not. I'm not on Instagram. I put most of my time into YouTube. I don't really do a lot of social media. Maybe I should. Hey, Carmen, nice to see you again. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, I'm still using Reaper. I use it for mainly commissions, actually. If I get a job where I don't need... if I get a job where I'm like writing music from scratch, then I use Reaper generally. It depends, but I prefer Reaper to Ableton, actually. The workflow in Reaper is a lot more customizable. Like, for example, in Ableton here, I have the letter C on my keyboard, which triggers the click track. You can see up over here, and you can see it goes on and off with the letter C. But that is something I've had to like create a custom key map for by going Control K and then selecting it and going C. Now that process, I've had to do that for every single new Ableton track that I make. There's no way to import custom mapping into the program, so it would be ideal if I had like my setup, and then I could just know that every Ableton project I make, C is going to turn the click track on. No way that I know of that we can do that yet in Ableton 11, but with Reaper, that type of stuff is normal. You create like keyboard shortcuts and actually macros, like actions. So you'll have like, for example, I have like one key in Reaper that will allow me to like split a clip in half, put like 5 seconds of silence in between the two, crossfade the end of the one with the beginning of the next. And yeah, I'm sure you know Reaper if you're asking about it. So, and then you can import other people's mappings. It's like a really good support community. Reaper is just the absolute underdog of all of the music making software. The flaw it has is that it's not as easy to get into because you have to import third-party plugins and all that stuff, but it really does listen to its community, and that's why I think it's got a long and bright future ahead of it. I support Reaper, I totally do. The guy who made it's doing an amazing job. Same guy who made the Winamp. I don't know if you remember Winamp, but yeah, it's such a pity that music is just like everyone's side hobby, and that there's, you know, like the major cash in music and the industry goes to just, you know, Taylor Swift or whatever. It's such a pity that like such a lucrative industry, you don't see more of this kind of it's growing, put it that way. It's growing that independent codependence, you know, and that's what I'm part of here. I'm trying to create resources for game makers. I'm really keen to chat to more game makers, so if you know any, put them in touch with me. I do reach out to random people, but what I want to know is, how do I make the process of scoring the game and creating loops and underscore as easy as possible? If that means switching to Fmod or switching to Wise and creating these types of resources in different programs, so be it. I'm prepared to learn them. I'm here to serve that community, like indie game makers and video creators. These are the people I'm here for. That's who I'm showing up for, you know. And it's fun too, but like ultimately I'd like this to be something of a career, so I need to listen to people more, you know. So if you know anyone like that, just put them in touch. I'm quite keen to figure out what it is I can do to, you know, plug in basically. Okay, cool. We don't have a lot of time left for today, but I will be back, not tomorrow. Usually I'm here on Fridays, but tomorrow I'm going away with family. So just in the last couple minutes, let's just fuck around a bit. I'm going to get this kit out and just mess around. Where's my tom one? Okay, that's not the one I want. This one here is going to be an octave low or high. There we go, cool. Oh, that sounds like it's not monoed. Okay, I'm gonna just listen to the original track. Here we go. Sorry, I know you can't hear this. I just want to hear what kind of beat they've got here. Okay, so it's a dubstep beat, so it's like this. Okay, let's get that click track on so I can record something. Here we go with a kick. 3, 4, 2, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. I think I got 1 bar too short. Yeah, 6 bars instead of 8. So let's just extend this out to 8 bars and make sure that I've got the same. There we go, cool. No, that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was map it to, that's it. That's the sound I'm going for. And now we're going to do, at the end of 8 bars, we're going to duplicate this for starters, and at the end of 8 bars I want to get something like a break. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. It's got to be half this time. So these guys over here need to be half the time. This one here. Okay, good. Now we can add a clap. I'm going to be returning to this track, don't worry, as we go through this. February, I'm giving myself February to come up with, like at least another 3 of these tracks, and then March again. I've got stuff scheduled out until April, so you're going to see constant new stuff coming out on YouTube, like every 10 days. In fact, there'll be a new template like this. And then, of course, the live stuff, which is happening every day. I'm doing these streams, so every weekday, 2 p.m. UTC. I want to just add a clap. This sucks because now I've got to go, but I'm just starting to get into this track. Okay, so it's a dubstep beat, which is this. Let's just map that out real quick. Just that snare in a nice regular place, and then at the end of a 16 bar, typically we go give it 2 snares in a row, like something like that. Let's just take it from here, solo it out, and again. Here we go, hang on. I like these double snares, they're cool. Arjun says you don't use any third-party plugins. No. In the packs that I release, which you can check out over here, I'm just going to link you to the free stuff, JB0. In the chat, you'll see a link to the free packs, which I release via Patreon. None of those packs have got third-party plugins. So all of the video previews that when you listen to the stuff, you'll hear and see as I navigate around Ableton. I show everybody exactly every single channel and every single device so that they can see that it's all using default Ableton plugins. I'm quite proud of this because it's hard. It's harder to do that than to use really good plugins and sophisticated sounds, which then don't travel well. They don't migrate. When someone on the other side of the world downloads my project, they get missing samples and files. So I make sure not to do that. And there's tons of stuff out there which has dependencies, like, oh, you need Native Instruments to run this. And a lot of the time when you load up a third-party plugin, like Native Instruments, even if you have the same patch, it loses the data. So it might load the default version of that patch, or it might load it without the instruments, without the automation or something. So stuff goes missing, data goes missing. The point of what I'm doing here is making it portable, making it so that when you... So literally, I click save, I zip up the file, and when you open it up, you unzip it and you open up the file, you get exactly what I just packed together. There's nothing missing. That's kind of this. I'm aiming for people here. I'm looking for people who don't have time to like faff around with missing plugins and files and stuff. Is that the appropriate snare for this pack? Or do we even need a snare? Okay, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. As you might know, I'm a dad, and it's like now it's my turn to do the kids stuff. So it's fun. We're going up to the sand dunes. I live quite close to some sand dunes, which is like it's paradise, man. It's just this beautiful wide open space. I got to take my little guy there. So yeah, Shot, thanks for sticking around, dudes. It's really cool to hang out with you for a bit, and thanks for just being here. It helps obviously with like teaching YouTube, that I've got followers. That's super rad. The goal of all of this is to just be able to continue showing up and serving people. So please spread the word. Please tell people, there's this cool guy who rocks up every day and you can talk to him and he makes music. And then if you do come across any other creative types who want music for their videos and stuff, I've got a ton of it available on FreeMusicArchive. I've got like almost 1 million plays there now, which is great. It means that people are actually using the stuff. Anyway, that's it for now. Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, I'll just play out with a couple of loops from this while I go. Chat soon, dudes. Ciao.